new scheme on offense, maybe new run scheme, maybe more of a power run scheme. Hard to tell when they're playing 7-on-7, but it is something that I think we need to discuss because Mike McDaniel's gone. He was a big part of the architecture of the offense. Of course, Kyle Shanahan is too. But now Anthony Lynn replaces him, and Anthony Lynn has a lot of experience. He's been a run game coordinator as well. I think he'll have some creative input on this offense. What do you think of the 49ers potentially switching up their run game or evolving it?
Well, I think what you have to do to maybe predict what might happen is to look to the past. Look at what's happened in the past. What does Kyle like? What does the people that are involved normally like? I know Bobby Turner's not here, right? But he was here previously. He's been with the Shanahans the entire time. Both Mike and Kyle. His first year that he's not with them, and best believe Mike Shanahan is still involved in giving his input, and so I think when you look back, I think there's this notion that Kyle likes speedy backs. He likes slashers. When you look back, that's not the case. In fact, I went back and I looked at all the backs that Mike Shanahan and Kyle produced via Mike's time as a head coach and Kyle's time as offense coordinator in all the stints from the Broncos to the Commanders to the Browns, the Falcons, and the 49ers. The backs that you would consider are big backs produced about 25,000 rushing yards and 193 touchdowns. The backs I would consider slashers, the guys, speedy backs, lighter, had about 10,000 yards and 71 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And there was 12 of those backs, and there was 24 backs that I would consider the bigger, bruiser style backs. And I think when you're looking back, his preference is really to the bigger backs.
Yes. And I agree with that. And I think it's he just kind of fell into some small ones in Atlanta and had so much success. I think he tried to recreate it. But now, I mean, also maybe it's a Bobby Turner preference, but I think Anthony Lynn definitely likes bigger running backs. And I think we got to look at, you said looking into the past, we got to look at Anthony Lynn's past because, he was a interim head coach. He was an offensive coordinator in Buffalo in 2016. He did such a good job. He became a head coach for a while. That year, he had Tyrod Taylor, LaShawn McCoy, and Mike Gillislee. They ranked number 1 in rushing yards and number 1 in rushing touchdowns. That's quite a thing to have on your resume. And I think what's interesting about that achievement is that type of run game looked way different than what the run game looked here last year. Like, for example, last year, the Niners ran the ball 332 times from under center and 167 times from the shotgun. In 2016, Buffalo, their splits were 128 times from under center and 365 times from the shotgun. And in the shotgun, they averaged 5.7 yards per carry and had 21 rushing touchdowns. So Anthony Lynn has a little bit of expertise in that quarterback, not driven, but quarterback involved shotgun run game, which is what the Niners are going to be doing a lot of with Trey Lance. And I think you're going to see a total flip where whereas last year it was 2-1 under center to shotgun runs. I think you're going to see it flip back this way. And a lot of the shotgun runs are between the tackle type stuff. I don't know if you call it power. I mean, maybe it's inside zone, but it's still like between the tackles, not like the pitches to Elijah Mitchell as much.
Yeah, but I still think I still think you're going to see a lot of outside zone, and I still think it's going to be their bread and butter. There's a notion that you need the fast Raheem Mostert back to run outside zone, and that's just not.
Aaron Foster did it really well,
right? Terrell Davis Davis was a fullback in college.
Yeah, and Arian Foster legit ran a 4.7. He was hella slow, but he was really good.
I was looking at, so in this process, I'm looking back at a lot of those backs. They're all 4.6, 4.58. Even some of them are like 4.7. Like all of them are all like that. But you don't need to have the explosive. You got to be able to see the hole. You got to find the hole and then accelerate. It's really the acceleration. It's not the 40 time. It's the acceleration, because an explosive run is not 80 yards. An explosive run, depending on who how you look at it is like it's can be 15. Usually people turn them, I think, between 15 to 20 yards or is an explosive run.
I agree with you. They're definitely going to keep the outside zone in their offense, and it's important because that's how they build their play action passing game off of that. They're explosive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The pocket movement stuff. Still, though, I do have a feeling they're going to run the ball more than 300 times from the shotgun this year, which is going to be a total departure from what they did in the past. Because why wouldn't you do that with a mobile quarterback? I think you're supposed to. I mean, you want to do some under center, but there's going to be a lot of shotgun stuff because you really can't take advantage of the quarterback being a running threat from under center. You can take advantage of him as a play action threat, but as a runner, you want him in shotgun. And I think Anthony Lynn's shown he knows what the hell. He hasn't really had a quarterback like Tyrod Taylor since then. He had Phillip Rivers and Justin Herbert and Jared Goff.
Yep.
Now he has a legit. I'm excited to see what the run game looks like because I feel like we've seen a little bit of it. We've seen the Niners run, a little bit with Trey Lance and some zone read and stuff, but I think it's going to be a new emphasis this year.
And you can run outside. You can run outside zone. You can still run outside zone with a QB option off of it. I mean, the quarterback would just have an inside. He would have an inside path.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Which you've seen. I think early on, the 49ers and Kyle loved this. Like he loved to go 5 wide and just run Lance up the middle.
Right. They could do stuff like that. I do think what you're going to see is a little bit less of Elijah Mitchell too, because if you look at his splits, he was way better from under center than from the gun, and his bread and butter play was the toss left right. He was really great on that toss. They're still going to do it, but not as much. And I think this shift to the shotgun could breathe life into Trace Sermon's career.
You know what you could also do to merge as soon as you can, going back to Colin Kaepernick, because you can go pistol.
Ooh, that would be quite interesting to see the pistol back. I mean, they've done it some with Jimmy Garoppolo, but what's the point?
Yeah, you could run all. You would still have your QB run game in the pistol, and it would still allow you to
outside zone.
Yep, you could run all your normal run game off of it.
Yeah, and you could do some play action. It wouldn't be quite as effective as the under center stuff, but it would still have you still turn your back, have the quarterback turn his back to the defense, which sells it. So yeah,
and
I think it's going to be just bigger, a much bigger run game, which is crazy because they did a lot in the past. But there's going to be this 11 on. We're going to see the 11 on 11 Niners run game. It's going to be really interesting. And all of my point is that Anthony Lynn has shown he's like, I mean, I don't know if he's a master of it, but his last year doing it, he was first in rushing yards, first in rushing touchdowns. And this was not, he had LaShawn McCoy, 28-year-old LaShawn McCoy, Tyrod Taylor. See what he's got. Now he's got JaMycal Hasty, all right? I once made a video. People say I'm negative. I once made a video of JaMycal Hasty, like early on in his career, calling him mini Marshawn Lynch. Got like 40,000 views. And then Tony Romo called him mini Marshawn Lynch on a broadcast, which really drives home that he does his research by watching my YouTube channel, which is smart. Tony Romo. Sorry.
Hey, shout out to Tony Romo.